Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the next game in the MavWar Hype Unity Tournament 2018. I am Rails Barlow, one of your two casters for this evening's game. We have Team Leethal Assault Organization facing Team Royal Flush. Both teams are at 0-1. We have the first hit coming in here right now, getting mostly shut down aside from a jockey in the back. We're going to have Team Leethal Assault Organization on the survivor side clearing this hunter. That's going to be Reach, Nooth, Lawnmower, and their new addition, Tool. Who do we have for Team Royal Flush? Hollywood.
On Team Royal Flush, we have Team Captain Kodiak, Hib, Tamales, and Footy.
Don't shoot that car. Reloading.
Indeed, we do. And we are actually going to be seeing Carried Off as tonight's map. I actually love Carried Off. And the reason I love Carried Off is because we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-game caster war, but this is one of the more accomplished custom maps in the history of the Left 4 Dead community. It's been used, I think it was originally in maybe the original CCT and maybe CCT2 as well. Hit is coming in though. That's going to be a jockey bouncing around. Hunter landing in the back. Charter going in, landing onto Coach, but the spit actually went out on top of the Pound Survivor. Anyway, about 75 damage coming out from the first couple of hits here for Team Royal Flush.
It was an interesting decision by the spitter to spit onto the hunter that was pounced. I mean, the survivor that was pounced, rather than the one that got charged. Regardless, Team LL is going to continue on through this area, and it is worth mentioning, I think Rails mentioned it earlier in the game, but both of these teams are 0-1. They've both taken a loss, which means that this is sort of the make or break point for both of them. The team loses this match, and Rochelle gets jockeyed down into the fence area, but the Charger chest bumps her instead. It's a few punches. Rochelle badly separated. The tank is up in the hands of Footy.
Yeah, we're going to keep it here for just a split second, just in case the tank decides to cut Rochelle off. And I think Tool should be able to get back with his team. So what we're going to do is we're going to send this over to our first Team Royal Flush Worm of the match for this tank in the hands of Footy as I do.
Reloading.
All right, let's do it.
I'm a reload.
Play Rock Tank, he's already like...
Yeah. Reloading here. I'm gonna try this spawner tank right here.
I have a spawner here.
I'm ready. I have a spawn here. Oh, he's committing.
You still up, guys? Can you help the tank?
No. I sad. I'm sorry. Nice.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. That was the first tank in the game for Team Royal Flush. I almost called them Royal Footy there, but the tank was up in the hands of Footy, not able to get a tremendous amount of damage whatsoever in that area. Team LAO doing a good job of kiting him around that white van area. It's an open area where then you need your support to kind of land and do any kind of work, and the tank wasn't able to even get a corner on his own. So that's going to be a good start for Team LAO on the survivor side of things. We have another hit coming in right now from Royal Flush. The Hunter, Boomer, Smoker, and a Spitter. We do have that double cap landing for a split second right there, and the spit actually spreads up onto Rich right there. So that's going to be an okay amount of damage for that 2-2, but Hollywood, this is going to be a good bonus if Team LAO makes it with this.
Yeah, Rochelle was separated pretty badly for a second there. The jockey managed to get her down even though the charger failed. Unfortunately, the tank just wasn't quite close enough to get in there. Regardless, the witch is up right here on the stairwell, and looks like LAO are going to be able to crown her before any witches are up. Nick goes for it and gets the crown. Royal Flush now has a jockey smoker Hunter charger ready, and there is an alarm car, but looks like they're going to blow right past that as well.
Yeah, I mean, in this stage in the game, Team LAO has actually practiced with this new lineup pretty well over the past couple of days to prepare for this. Those custom maps really are sometimes reliant on just how many people play them and with what frequency. And this quad cap for Team Royal Flush is in an interesting position right now. Hunter getting blown out of the sky, Smoker getting shut down, and the Charger was not even able to spawn on that hit. So I don't know if there's some map familiarity issues going out or just a little bit of rhythm being off for Team Royal Flush, but if they're unable to do some kind of damage here, it's maybe like a charge spit or maybe some kind of double cap after this no return drop right here, it's going to be pretty tough for them to match this on Survivor side, must they play that tank as cleanly.
Reloading.
Yeah, Leethal Assault Organization, they are known, I think the last match they played pretty aggressively. They're very, they like to move through these maps really fast, and as you mentioned, custom maps, there's a little bit of unfamiliarity with it no matter how much you play it. The chokes and the spawns are not really set in stone, not like a map like Dark Carnival where everybody knows everything that you can do. Regardless, we do have a Boomer getting popped immediately, Spitter going out, Charger going out, Hunter bouncing around. None of this is landing. So Hunter briefly lands onto Nick, but LAO are taking these hits really well, and they looks like they're going to make the safe room just before Royal Flush gets another hit in.
Yeah, that's going to be a great start for Team LAO. They're going to start this game with 1,081 points on Survivor side, so breaking the 1K barrier. And Tool with 43% damage and 45% kills. No surprise. I mentioned that at the top of the cast, actually, that one of the big changes for Team LAO is that they've had Tool added to their roster as their pot 2, I believe. So that can be a huge impact because Tool is one of the most well-known players in competitive Left 4 Dead. Long history with Team Serious Business, and ironically enough, he actually played on Hib's team in a couple tournaments from what I remember. So we're seeing exactly what Tool can do in terms of an immediate impact, and now we need to see if Team Royal Flush can respond with a more stable roster than the one they present in their first match.
Absolutely, Royal Flush. I mean, that's a lot of bonus that they have cut out for them. They're going to have to follow that, just as well, if not better. Of course, map 1 is map 1. Even if they do terribly on this map, there's still going to be a lot of points to make up for it. But I think they do have a good opportunity if they can take a little bit less damage on that tank and a little bit less damage on that hit initially on this bridge area, I think, is where LAO took the majority of their damage from.
Yeah, and to clarify, chat, yes, Tool is the pot 2. Technically, the captains are the pot 1s in this tournament, so Lawnmower is the pot 1, Tool is the pot 2, and I believe, I don't know between Nuth and Rich who's the pot 3, pot 4, but I know that Tool was inserted as a replacement for Presto originally, who then was going to be replaced by whoever played in their last game. I'm drawing a blank on it right now, but yeah, that's LAO's distribution right there. And then I don't know it exactly for Team Royal Flush, but that's how it is, where the captains are the pot 1s, and then pot 2 is the second strongest player on the team in theory. We are going live here with Team Royal Flush on the Survivor side, and they've actually enabled spawning here, and there is still a Survivor waiting outside. Tamales trying to keep these hunters, not going to work though. Double cap is going to land in the back, with Spit going down on top of Kodiak right there. That's almost 50 damage off that first hit right there, Hollywood.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hiccup on that first hit. I don't think that all the survivors were, quite ready. The team ran in there, and Tamales was left, outside, kind of holding the bag, like, wait, what's going on? And those hunters did manage to land, regardless. 50 damage for the first hit. These survivors are probably going to manage to get past this alarmed car. Although a charger does go in, lands onto Ellis. Spit landing just short. A pull goes out onto Coach, but he gets cleared immediately. And that Spitter is going to get down. The jockey does manage to land on Ellis. Gets a lot of damage. I mean, Tamales is already in the yellow. This is not a great start for Royal Flush.
Yeah, and that's just an example, honestly, of bad survivor coverage in that way, where that survivor was way stepped in the back getting charged, and then, they didn't clear that charger until it got a stupid amount of damage with the Spit going down on top of it, and then they weren't close enough to clear that jockey or even shut down that jockey for Ellis off that get-up, and you can just stack damage like that if you know how to just ISO one survivor to the side and then find a way to, again, have something land and then just keep jumping on it if the team isn't covering. So we're going to be seeing a 3-cap with Spit here with 2 hunters and a smoker for Team LAO going in right now. Pull going out on the Hib in the front, who is going to get free spat as well. That's going to be a good amount of damage onto him. Hunter going in is going to get skeeted, but this is a lot of damage on Team Royal Flush so far.
Yeah, Team Leethal Assault Organization clearly showing a lot more familiarity with this map. Their spawns are a bit tighter. They blew through this first half really quickly, and we do have the first tank up in the hands of Lethal Assault Organization's newest player, Tool. He's going to start moving his way onto this truck here, while Royal Flush, I think they're going to fight him just outside of this fenced area. Probably the smart call.
Oh yeah, and Tool wants his forklift for this. We're gonna keep this here for a second. We have a Charger Jockey and a Smoker going in right now, but Royal Flush are gonna be moving backwards here as Tool tries to work this hittable in. And I think he's actually gonna abandon it. Indeed he is. He's gonna go to the roof. Now we're gonna move it over to that first team, a Lethal Assault Organization more.
I'm a reload.
Alright, let's do it.
I'm just gonna come out with this.
Alright. So there's no one.
Shoot the damn tank. Reloading. He shoots.
I cannot believe that you just shot me.
Stop shooting me.
Fuck.
Stop shooting.
Shit.
Kill him.
It's dead.
Shoot the tank.
Nice last hit. Sorry, I fucked up my boomer, bro. My bad.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Tool's tank right there for Team LAO, doing a good job of spreading damage there right at the end. Originally, he wasn't able to get much of anything. The Boomer got shut down by Rochelle, but then when he was able to turn around, it was a quasi-double cap with a smoker pull and the tank being able to hit one of the other survivors, and then he was able to turn around, get a couple of other punches, and turn something out of nothing there.
Yeah, Tool was getting kited really badly. His support was not able to help him a ton, but he did get some nice punches in there. Almost death punched Hib. That was looking really sketchy for a second there, but Hib luckily was able to jump up and over the tank's head and avoid getting death charge. Regardless, the Charger goes in, whiffs. The Spitter is also up. She's going to get shut down. The Smoker also trying to get a pull from the back gets shut down, and a Hunter is trying to get some NE2s here. Gets shot down by Coach. Royal Flush, I think, LAO, that hit immediately fall in the tank was pretty sloppy, but they do have this witch to work with. I think they may be able to get at least 2 specials up before they manage to get the crown.
No, Kodiak pushed it. That was a good call by him right there, because even though he has a lot of the health bonus, most likely, oh man, I shouldn't even say that. I was gonna say most likely people in this tournament aren't gonna fail crowns, and Left 4 Dead witches do what they do sometimes. That is true. This double boom is nice though, and Hib is a little bit split right here. Gonna get pulled. Charger goes in, blindsides the survivor, and goes over the top of the alarm car to hit Hib. Okay, game. Now the jockey's gonna go and managing to land onto Nick as well. That was special. I don't know. That was very strange.
Yeah, that Charger went up and over the hood of the car and got, a multi-charge there where, I've seen Chargers hit cars like that a million times. They never go over the car. I don't know what I just saw. That was bizarre and really unfortunate for Royal Flush. They just took a ton of damage. They've got 2 bleeders, 1 green survivor, and no pills between them at the moment.
In my opinion, they're going a little too fast right now. Hunter does get skeeted by Hib as he's on the ladder, managing to nail that shot. He does get pounced and insta-cleared now with Tamales going down 2 spit. Hib's going to jump his way out of that. He has 1 HP left. But like I said, I think they're pushing a little bit too fast into these chokes while there's still an alarm car horde coming from the back. It's still going to be coming in right here, but now Hib's going to have to be downed and picked back up again before the death drop. This is pretty precarious right now for Team LAO. Hib is still in the back, and he's going to get downed by that jockey. There's a Charger and a Smoker still up as well. Charger, though, leading in by itself, going to die. Jockey going to get killed as well, so it's working out for them that Hib went down in the back.
Bit of a saving grace there. Hib was badly separated. I don't think anyone was watching him. He got scratched down, but like you said, LAO, they were a little too ambitious trying to punish that mistake. Looks like they are going to make it past this death drop here, although Tamales, where is he going? All right, he's going to come back here for Hib.
Well, yeah, Kodiak got reset right there by the Smoker, so he had to work his way around, and I think they might get another Charger now for this next hit. I'm not 100% on that, but the Hunter's making noise in the back. Boomer's looking for an arc from one of those cars, and there is a Spitter in the spawn queue as well. It's going to be a jockey instead. So it's a 2-2 they have to take. Right now, the majority of the health bonus is on Footy. So if he can make safe from while still being green and playing forward like that, they actually might be able to keep this relatively close. Boomer not going to be able to land that arc boom right there. Going to get killed. And Hunter's going in the back, going to land actually on a Tamales with a jockey getting dead stops going back, and that is another down on the Ellis.
That down might just give LAO one more shot at another hit just before they get into the safe room. They do have him up there rushing to the safe room, and I think your assessment was spot on, Rails. I think Royal Flush was playing this map a little too fast, trying a little too hard to follow LAO's performance there.
Yeah, and at this stage, they have 1 person black and white, and then Hib is taking a lot of time getting close to the safe room. Charger's going to go, and he's going to back up, and he is going to level that Charger, clearing the Smoker as well. He was trying to bait that out as much as he could, and he is going to be at 1 HP again, limping his way in, but that is what Team Royal Flush needed to do. They're going to be down by less than 300 points going into the second map of Carried Off, and they got Tool's tank out of the way as well. Hib getting the MVP stat right there on SI.
Yeah, that was a really ballsy call by Hib. 1 HP, still trying to bait out that last hit, but it really worked out for him. And that's a bit of a saving grace for Royal Flush. They were playing pretty sloppy. Things were really messy for them, as Infected as well as by Survivor. And, as we said before, this is sort of like a knockout match between these two. Both of these teams are 0-1. They both took losses, and they can't afford to take another loss. If they lose this match, they're basically done. So it's still extremely close.
Yeah, it gets magnified a bit because it's only a 4-map campaign, but we are going live right here with Team LAO on Survivor and Team Royal Flush on the Special Infected side. First hit for Royal Flush is going to be a Charger, Boomer, Smoker, and a Hunter, and this will be a Tamales tank at 23%. Survivor's making their way out of the safe room. Hunter getting chipped just a little bit. Smoker pull is going to go out. Hunter is going to get feeded, but the Charger lands in the safe room just for 10 damage right there with nothing else going out on the board.
Yeah, LAO taking that first hit like a champ. They're going to push through in this highway area, clear out all those commons. We've got Ellis forging on ahead, looking to push through, clear even more commons. LAO, like I mentioned before, they're really aggressive players. They like to play this map fast, and they've been practicing this map a lot this week. They had a lot of team synergy to try to build up after their last match, which was pretty disappointing all around. They got beat pretty badly, and I think it shows. They've done a lot of work. We do have a double boom going out onto Rochelle and Coach. 2 Hunters jumping around, and we've got a Charger waiting in the wings.
Yeah, the Hunter's gonna go now. Tool skeeting both of them in order, shutting them down. That was awesome. Okay, he gets the first skeet and then he just flicks and hits the second one, and now this Charger is still up. I will say that yes, they practice the map as a team and that kind of stuff, but when you have a player like Tool add to someone's roster, it completely changes the dynamic in the sense that he can do stuff like that during a double boom and just have it not matter.
Ammo here.
Absolutely, those skeets were just beautiful, and right now, LAO has pushed into the building. They get another triple boom, but this Charger is still waiting outside, looking to do something. We've got a Smoker pulling Rochelle briefly. Looks like that Charger's going to go in onto Ellis, and it lands. Really strange.
Yeah, that is a good charge fit right there to hit Lawnmower, and this Boomer is still up, as a matter of fact. It seems as though Team LAO has been hoarded for the past 2 minutes straight, but looks as though they're going to be pushing forward, trying to get the tank now. They are very split, however. The Boomer does die. Tank is going to be up into the hands of Tamales for Team Royal Flush. We will keep it here for a second and see what they decide to do on the Survivor side, because I believe they will be taking it back towards that highway as Tamales hits their hittables in.
Absolutely. Looks like that's what they're going to do. LAO is moving back towards this highway area, going up the exit ramp. LAO do have a Hunter Jockey and a Smoker to work with. Pretty decent spawns, although no Boomer, which may be preferable to the situation. I don't think Tamales still trying to get that hit, or where did they go? Yeah, still trying to get those hittables in, but having a lot of trouble getting it out of this gas station.
Indeed she is, and at this stage we will pop it over to that Royal Flush Worm and see how they play this tank as Tamales keeps working those hittables in. That dumpster is on the moon.
Yeah, that dumpster is not going to serve her at all. Let's go to the war room.
It's being retarded. Can I just commit? I'm gonna start going in, honestly. Fuck it.
Going now, guys. Going now.
Yes, someone! Hello! What the fuck? Jesus Christ, man.
What happened? What happened?
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have the y'all suck for reals going out in team chat right there, and the tank wasn't able to hit any hittable towards the survivors. I'm not sure what the support did to stop that, but aside from that fact, that was only a little bit of damage going out on that tank. It's a Smoker, Spitter, and a Charger for the next hit for Team Royal Flush. And this Charger's going to spawn in the back, trying to lead in, not going to land. Smoker's going to get a pull forward, and that's going to be only a little bit of damage from a tank that can do a lot depending on how the infected and survivors play it.
Yeah, a lot of frustration from Royal Flush's side. And I mean, when a tank can't work their hittables in, that's always a pain. As we said before, like no matter how much practice you can get in this game, how good your tank can be, sometimes your hittables just don't want to work with you. And Tamales just, I mean, there was really nothing they could do in that situation. They got kited down so hard, and I mean, it just sort of gave up towards the end there, just stood there and let itself die. Regardless, we do have Boomer Jockey going on to Rochelle. Boomer gets a double boom, but also clears that Jockey. Ellis gets pulled forward through a little bit of spit, but Rochelle's going to jump onto that railing. Really minimal damage. LAO are still trucking through this map, looking pretty dominant.
Yeah, I mean, and like, because they took, like, next to no damage at that tank, now they have the ability to actually survive this event. It's not as crippling, I would say, as the Death Toll map 4. I mean, it's longer, but the chokes aren't as vicious, in my opinion. So they should be able to, like, navigate this pretty well because they can bait, they can stop, and see what the SI are going to do. We do have a hit coming in right now, though. Charger is going to whiff. We're going to have that Jockey landing. Hunter trying to land in the corner, but gets skeeted by Lawnmower right there. Nice play by him as he was separated down that hallway. Tool does pop the Boomer in front. Now they're going to keep motoring their way along. And I think you were right when what you said earlier, Hollywood, was that, you know, LAO, especially with the addition of Tool now, they want to move fast. They're going to run majority shotguns, and carry it off, in my opinion, is a very, very shoddy-oriented map.
Absolutely. This map is full of long, narrow hallways, which, you know, traditionally you would think that's pretty good for the Infected, but it also is pretty good for such an aggro team like LAO. They love moving through these maps quick. They do have a Smoker pulling Nick very briefly. Hunter lands on Nick into Spit, and the Smoker gets the repull onto Rochelle. That's a decent amount of damage. Jockey dragging Ellis through the Spit as well.
Yeah, and this is how this event can do a lot of damage, just because there's a lot of common Infected just consistently swarming you. Like, in Zone or Ace mod, you'd be able to go back and hold it out and then make your way forward, and eventually the common would stop. But actually, because this is U-mod, I want to see if that wire insta-kills people. I don't think it will, but that's another thing that could possibly happen when the survivors come forward. And right now the commons are actually in front, so there's going to be a little bit of delay here as we see the next pick go in. Charger leading is not going to land anything right there, but now it's going to be able to punch. That's a lot of damage going out onto Rich. Boomer on the side there, not going to be able to get much of anything, and they're probably going to wait for these survivors to get a little bit closer until they send that next hit. And him saying, yeah, I think the SI is a little bit off right now for Team Royal Flush.
Yep. LAO obviously playing things really fast, and I think that's the right call to do when Team Royal Flush is showing a little bit of weakness. They're a bit disorganized. You know, when you start taking these chokes with so little damage, that can be really demoralizing to a team. We do have a Smoker and a Hunter spawning in the back. Charger going out in front. Hunter's jumping around trying to land on something. Charger looking for both. Charger and Smoker both hit the same survivor, unfortunately. And this Spit is going to shut down. Smoker gets shut down, and Ellis is looking to stop that alarm.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be able to get the alarm off right now, and then this room is going to go dark, and that would be pretty devastating if the Special Infected had a hit. If they don't, and the survivors have a couple more chokes to get through, this is a long map as well, and this is why it's dangerous for Team Royal Flush on Survivor because of that hittable tank. I mean, hittable tanks are something very unique to Left 4 Dead, I would say. We do have a charge going out, managing to land onto Rochelle right there with a Spit going down, and then Boomer actually pushes Rochelle completely out of Spit. That was just unfortunate for the Special Infected right there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of miscommunication going out between the specials. You know, that Boomer pushing Rochelle out of the Spit, saving her from a lot of damage. The Smoker and the Charger both hitting the same survivor in the last hit. They are going to aggro this Witch, and Nick's going to get the draw crown. That's a nice, that's a good job by LAO, but it looks like they need to slow things down just a bit before they get carried away with themselves. Royal Flush does have a Smoker, Charger, Jockey, and one last SI getting ready to spawn here, but they are going to get past this alarm car, I believe, without having to deal with any hit.
Indeed, Jockey's going to go in, getting M2'd and not going to land. Smoker pull does go out onto Rochelle. Pool going to run around and try to pop that Boomer. Charger lands, and the Smoker pull reaches around the small parking, like, pole thing there, because it was going for the same charge target. But, okay, this is dangerous for Team LAO now, because Pool's going to be 2 hits from slow. You've got Lawnmower at 4 HP, and you have Nuke who's bleeding out to slow as well. And they still have a decent amount of map to go through. What a shot on that Hunter by Nuth, I think that was. That's going to be a Jockey in the back as well, and they can't get Lawnmower down quite yet. They managed to work their way outside on Team LAO. There's the down coming out from the Jockey with a Spit going on top of that as well. And now the Infected should be able to troll this pickup as Rich is going to get pulled on top of a dumpster. Again, Hollywood, just unfortunate because he was actually moved out of the Spit.
Yeah, LAO was playing so well in the first half of this map and in the first map, but now they're showing a bit of weakness. Like you mentioned, this is a long map. Jockey lands onto Rochelle. Charger's going to get a few punches in and a charge. Royal Flush, they're starting to pull things together. They're hitting, you know, they're hitting really well. They're hitting coordinated, and LAO, they've got all 4 survivors. I mean, 3 survivors are bleeding, and they're all in the red right now. That means that this is going to be a long crawl through this apartment complex, or however you call it, and there is a lot of opportunity for big damage in these small rooms.
chat, calm your shit. We have a spitter, boomer, smoker, and a jockey at the same point in time here, with that smoker going in the back, not going to land. Boomer does drop down, get a double boom into a smoker pole right there, but Lawnmower is going to get that clear from the window as the stick goes down onto him. This jockey was also looking, but does get shut down. The stick gets an in-cap on the tool, and this is dangerous for LAO now because they are in danger of actually wiping here if they play this wrong. Because Lawnmower only has a couple HP left. Rich is going to get pulled outside with a stick going down as well. That's going to be a down going out onto Lawnmower and another down onto Rich. They're just taking downs left and right.
Yeah, Royal Flush have definitely pulled things together, and if they manage to wipe these survivors here, which I believe they just might be able to, Rochelle is the last man standing, but she does clear that Hunter. She's trying to go for the pickup, but the Spit is going to delay that, and she is caught in a lot of horde as she is going to go down. As I was saying, if Royal Flush manages to play even better as survivors, they have a chance to turn this around and put LAO on the defense.
And see, this is the thing, like, they took that tank so well, and maybe I thought it's because they were still fast they'd be able to get through this, but if you notice that, I think it's because they shot an alarm car too, but the Horde was out of control. Like, the Horde was more out of control than Twitch chat on that, because they were just kept going and going and going and going, and the survivors can't do much with that unless they're really well coordinated and able to kill that Horde. And if the Horde bottlenecks them like that, it's a lot easier for the Special Infected to get those kind of hits. So this is a less than 1k point game going into Royal Flush's Survivor half, and this is very important for Team Royal Flush to at least make the same amount of distance that Team LAO did. First hit is pre-spawning right now. Charger, Smoker, Boomer, and a dead Hunter. Charger does go in and manages to land for a split second. Boomer nowhere near, however. So again, same amount of damage on the first two opening hits here.
Yeah, it's time to see if LAO can do something. I think a lot of it is going to come down to this tank, and whether or not Royal Flush can avoid having such a tremendous horde throughout the entire second half of that map. Tamales, when she was playing as tank, obviously she was not able to get any of her hittables in, which was regrettable, and no support was there to help her, so that tank did a tiny amount of damage. If LAO's tank, I believe Lawnmower is going to get this one, has a little, some better luck with his hittable control, that would provide an opportunity for them to keep their lead, I think, because so far they have been playing it's a smidge better than Royal Flush, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the thing though, Royal Flush, we saw in their first match where they lost by 2,000 points, but that was kind of a misleading score, I would say, because there was so much that went on in that match, and then I think somebody disconnected and they just didn't play their finale round of Hard Rain. I mean, they can definitely, well, this is not the way to do it, but I was going to say, they can definitely find a way to just swing that momentum back in their favor. That was a 100 pounds going down with a spit on top of it and a charge in the back. There could have been a lot more damage had that spitter spit somewhere else. Lawnmower responds throwing a rock, however, so he may have just juked his own grace period, but we'll see exactly if that affects him or not. He's going to go for these hittables and move them in, and once again, we'll keep it here for a little bit until this tank gets a little bit closer to committing. I don't know, Hollywood, hittable tanks are very, very coin flip based, I'd say.
Absolutely. Like I said, hittable control is a bit of a misnomer because at the end of the day, no matter how good a Left 4 Dead 2 player you are, these hittables just kind of do whatever the hell they want. Regardless, Lawnmower is going to start punching this car over. It does not cross the truck, and they LAO is going to send a Hunter in. It lands briefly on the coach, and we've got another Charger looking to get somebody. It looks like he's going to get shot down before he hits anything.
Does his team want to play it up here? Boomer's going to go in, managing to land a one boom, and now they're going to have a car in their faces in a second. They're playing this very aggressively. Lawnmower, however, can't jump punch this car. Kodiak still pushing him, though. If they ran him back right now, it'd be devastating. We're going to keep it here. He almost gets just bodied by that car. Not going to get it, though. Now there's still Horde coming in right here. We're going to have Lawnmower pushing his car in. And if the SI can get some kind of hit here, it would be great. That car's in the middle, and they're kiting it back up. They're running around. It's kind of chaotic. We're going to keep it here in the caster worm for this tank. He's going to be committing with a Charger, Jockey, and a Smoker, missing the punch on that car. Now sending it up and over, not going to land. Missing a punch onto Rochelle. Missing another punch onto Rochelle. He's now completely alone, but there is a Smoker pull with a charge going out. Rock is going to get seeded. That's going to be a lot of damage going out on Tamales right there, and the Charger is going to land. This is a beautiful 3-cap, actually, by Team LAO because of that Jockey landing. I think Footy was unable to do anything with that Charger as it was punching the Smoker and then also landing. 2 survivors still up. Rock going in, managing to land onto Kodiak, and now just him and Kodiak left for this tank in the hands of Lawnmower. That Charger's gonna almost get a kill. Nobody's clearing Rochelle. Absolutely no one was clearing Rochelle, and there's the death along with the charge on to Hib, that's an insane amount of damage going out from that SI support. That tank didn't have much of anything right there, but now he's moving his way back in. I think Kodiak is lagging just a little bit as Lawnmower rotates back over by the bus. Boomer is going to land on to Tamales, and this jockey wants to cause some trouble as well. Moving in from the back of the bus, going to actually not be able to troll the pickup. That was a ballsy survivor call, and then that was a beautiful SI hit.
That, oh my goodness, that tank fight was so chaotic. I almost like couldn't keep up with Rails as he was narrating that entire thing. Lawnmower did a tremendous job with that tank. He worked that hittable and wasn't able to in-cap anyone with it, but he did a great job of getting it up and over that guardrail, forcing the survivors to sort of separate a little bit in panic mode. You know, he forced them out of a good position, and the SI went in beautifully. With Ellis, we do have a charger going and gets a single punch on Ellis.
They are so goddamn split.
Coach is getting pulled, and they are separated by Spit, but Ellis is going to run through that to try and get to their teammates.
Yeah, this survivor quote-unquote coordination, I'm using air quotes right there, by Team Royal Flush has not been ideal so far. Just there's been a couple of miscommunications, it seems, and people just not getting a couple of clears. Like that 3-cap landing in that open field was just ridiculous after that smoker pull went in. Like I said, the tank got kited around a pretty good amount, and it looks as though Hib was trying to go on top of those boxes, but he can't. And now they gotta do some damage control and make as much distance as they possibly can through this part of the map. There is a 3-cap coming up. Hunter going in, going to land onto Hib. Other Hunter coming in from the back. Charger, long charging, is going to bounce off of a part of that railing that was sticking out. So that could have been a 3-cap. However, Team Royal Flush are going to keep pushing their way forward.
Yeah, Team Royal Flush, I think, lucked out there with that charger running into the railing in the middle of its charge. But, you know, we saw LAO before. They have been playing, I think, as survivors. They've been more coordinated. They've been much faster. And they didn't even make it to the end of this map. And they had all 4 survivors. Royal Flush is already down to 3, and they've got 1 pill for 2 bleeding survivors. I mean, it's looking really bleak for them right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a spitter, smoker, a jockey, and a boomer. I combined. Can you imagine that with a spitter with a, like, tongue that was an acid rope? It just doesn't even make sense. We have that boomer going in the front.
Incoming.
Left 4 Dead 3 incoming. Boomer does get M2'd and shut down, and they actually might save the rest of it. Nope, they're going to try to hit. We have that smoker going for an insta-pull downstairs, which I'm not sure what the theory on that was, but this jockey is still spawned up, just kind of making noise in the back. Hib is still fast, and they could actually make an okay amount of distance on this as long as they don't get completely common locked.
It looks like Royal Flush are just going gung-ho. They're not bothering trying to bait out these hits. They're going to try and run through this horde. Of course, this horde's not going to end, but they do have, as you mentioned, they've got 1 fast survivor, but they have their work cut out for them. We've got a Hunter in the back jumping around making some noise. They've got a Charger looking to spawn in front of them with Spitter support and a jockey on the roof.
We have a spitter, charger, a jockey, and a hunter going in. Charger is going to lead and get melted. Jockey gets shut down, and the hunter is going to land onto him, missing a DP by a couple of feet right there. But again, this is what Royal Flush kind of needs to do, because if you notice, because Team LAO wiped where they did on Survivor, they basically just got distance points out of it, even though they played that tank so much better. And now Royal Flush is actually finding a way to get most of those distance points as well. So the delta isn't going to be massive, even if, like, Royal Flush is able to make it, like, inside before they get wiped. Boomer gets nicely popped by him as well.
Yeah, Royal Flush are actually taking pretty minimal damage, given that they're missing a survivor, regardless if Charger does. Charger.
Oh, there's the death wire!
Jockey lands onto Ellis. 2 survivors are down. That Charger is still getting a ton of punches in, but Nick is just going to barely able to get him. You were right, Rails. That wire does kill you. The Jockey's going to interrupt that get-up animation, and the smoker is looking for one final pull up to Nick. He does get it. Can his teammates clear this tongue? They do not.
It's not like a. I think way back in the day it used to be like an insta-death wire, but at this stage in the game it just frickin' blows you to pieces in terms of your health. It doesn't insta-kill you, but it does more damage, I'd say, than fire in like Dead Center Map 1. I might be wrong about that, but it seems pretty close if you're right over the electrical spark. With that being said, it is a just under 600 point game. Going into map 3, mentioning it for those who don't know, again, Carried Off is indeed a 4-map campaign, and I think for Team LAO, they've still got Noose Tank and Rich's Tank, and then for Team Royal Flush, they've got Kodiak and Hib. So, either Kodiak or Hib are probably going to do a good amount of damage right here, and this is going to be Hib's tank later in the map, and I think that tank should spawn prior to that. I want to say it should spawn prior to that alarm car, that forced alarm car you have to jump on in the middle of that playground, but I'm not entirely sure. We've got Tool baiting this out, managing to chip that jockey, And we have a Charger and a Smoker pre-spawned as well outside. Smoker not going to be able to get that pull. Jockey's going to go in and get fed into the wood chipper shotguns of every player on Team LAO except for Nuth, who is going to kite that Smoker tongue and kill it as well. It's been a while since I've seen a Survivor team actually push out this way.
Reloading.
Yeah, that was a really unique call, but it worked out perfectly for LAO. They baited out those hits. Royal Flush did not know what to do. They all spawned differently. They all went in at different times. And again, I mean, I'm sure the frustration is real on that team right now. LAO have been outplaying them at almost every opportunity right now.
Yeah, the Jockey Charger and the Spitter for this hit coming up. And so the Charger's going in, trying to lead, not getting much of anything. We've seen that actually happen from a couple of people on both these teams so far. The Charger's leading in. Maybe you can try to get in a tight space, but if you go for a long charge leading in by yourself, you are not going to land. And we've seen them be just completely melted by these shotguns on the past couple of maps and also on that hit. So now Royal Flush are maybe not going to have a Charger here because there is a Death Charge possibility and maybe a Death Smoke or something strange too. Half the SI ladders don't work, by the way. And now we've got the Boomer trying to get an arc boom, and it does actually land one. But again, a 2-2 here isn't devastating. Hollywood, what's devastating here is if you have a Charger. You can see the instant kills that are just all over this place.
Absolutely, you know, when you've got these storm drains, you've got a lot of holes in these fences, obviously very purposeful, probably why it's such a popular map in competitive Left 4 Dead. The Boomer was able to get a single boom onto the survivors, but they're taking this horde inside, which is probably the wise call, although the Boomer is still alive, which means that the onus is now on Team LAO to push out, because if not, that Boomer's just going to keep doing that. Rochelle does get out, gets boomed again, also gets pulled, and her team is not there to save her. Jockey lands
this
on
free cap!
and a Hunter on the coach!
Oh, that's disastrous right there, and that was just because I think Rich was trying to block. I don't know what he was trying to block in the back, but that's a lot of damage going out. Smoker trying to stay scary up here as well, even though he doesn't have a recharge on that, and that's a good amount of damage on Team LAO. And this is kind of, you know, it's all pre-event too. This is kind of what you wanted if you were Team Royal Flush. If they can get damage like that and then bleed them out at least before that tank or even kill them beforehand, that would be marquee for them.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, Rich was in the back trying to block some kind of spawn, but the thing that, you know, we've been saying previously, that Smoker's going to get shot in the face and get killed. We do have Hunters going out in the back. Charger lands briefly onto onto Nick. A little bit of spit going out. That's the minimum amount of damage. But as I was saying before, when you're playing unfamiliar maps like these, there's a bit of miscommunication as to, you know, where you take these hits, how you take these hits. Rich was in the back trying to block some kind of spawn, but you have to remember the really dangerous spawns are up and outside. You know, these two death charge areas. Luckily for them, there was no Charger for Royal Flush to use. But those kinds of, you know, those little bits of misplays when you're dealing with an unfamiliar map is exactly what Royal Flush needs right now. They're going to take, I mean, LAO is going to start this second horde. They're going to take this horde, I think, right in this area. They do have Smoker and a Hunter already up. Hunter
getting 3 caps again. Yep, they got 3 caps again just for a split second with that Jockey in the front. Again, the positioning very strange. I mean, they were spread out, so I mean that requires for the survivors to get the shutdown on their own without being like near their teammates to do instant clears, and nobody shut anything down there. The Jockey went straight for Tool, managed to grab him while he was hopping. And I mean, this spot is okay in my opinion, but I vastly prefer holding it out down below just because you avoid all these insane opportunities for SI to come in from around you. Instead, it's a close spawn kind of thing. And we do have a Witch here as well. She is going to be on the... Actually, she's not even on the stairs. She's on the railing. So that's pretty much a draw crown. Charger rocketing in, managing to land on to Tool Hib, managing to get his old teammate down right there, I believe, with that. But actually, he's going to have a couple of HP left. Hunter bouncing around as well, and this is exactly what Team Royal Flush needed at this point with the amount of damage that's gone out. Tool drawing the Witch, going to get the crown right before being in-capped. Okay, I thought that was the Witch swiping him. No, he got the crown and then got DP'd. That was awesome.
Reloading.
Tool definitely showing the carry right now. Good candidate for MVP of the game. As Rails mentioned, he did get the crown, but then got scratched down by the Jockey jumping on top of him. The Charger goes in, but gets cleared. Smoker pulls Nick, also gets cleared. I mean, Royal Flush are not getting the kind of big damage or wipes that they need, but LAO have made some pretty crucial mistakes that are leading to a lot of damage, and this is exactly what they need right now. There's still a lot to go on this map.
Watch out for the cars.
Right, and I think actually this alarm car is going to have to be triggered pre-tank, so theoretically, that's 3/4 waves of horde. You've got the first part of the event, the second part of the event, and the alarm car, and this is all pre-tank. So, the team that's ahead, I'd say, by this point, which is LAO, even though they're looking in bad shape right now, you know, they had that lead off of map 1, and then they got the damage that they did on the tank map 2, and now, you know, they're gonna have to just try to kill LAO again right now on the side of Royal Flush, and that pool gonna be charged fat once more, with a smoker pull going out on to Coach right there, and that's gonna put Tool black and white before 10.
You seriously cannot go down again.
I'm a reload.
Yep, that's really unfortunate. This tank is going to have some bleeders already, which means that it's going to be a little bit easier to get a corner he can play more patiently, and that's just the opposite of what LAO wants. We've seen that they really shine when they're the aggressors, when they're, you know, pushing things and constantly throwing the other team off balance. Regardless, the tank is up in the hands of Hib for Royal Flush.
Indeed, it's going to be a Hib tank here with the... Actually, where the hell did he just come from? But he insta-commit, I think, from inside the building, going in onto Tool. And now, the survivors are going to be running forward. Oh my god, we are staying right here, because these survivors are pushing their way through this map. Hib's going to try to intercept, but they're going to go right out that window, aren't they? Yep, Alice is out. Hib's getting the lockdown in the back right there, and I think Rich is going to get a couple more... steps. He actually self-clears the smoker, and now Rich is on a run in the front right here. There's a jockey up for Footy to try and stop him, but he is barely fast. Jockey going to actually go in and land on him, but again, those distance points do matter right there. And unfortunately, Hib was not able to corral them the way that he wanted to with that tank, and they were able to push forward for a couple hundred more points.
My goodness, another bit of a misplay by Hib. He went in there thinking that, I believe he was thinking that, you know, with the horde around him and the hit still up, that Team Royal Flush was going to be, or my mistake, that Team LAO was going to be a little bit more patient. They were going to try and fight that tank, and he thought, oh, I can catch them off guard. He goes in immediately, and he did kill Tool, but then the rest of the team just flew right past him, trying to get as much distance as they possibly could. You know, like just as I was saying, LAO, they love to play their maps fast, and they just decided, you know, we're just going to get as much distance as we damn well please.
Reloading.
Exactly. We do have this hit going in, landing a charge on to Hib in the corner right there, and Hib's actually going to get pulled through Spit into Death Spit up against the railing on the catwalk right there. That was a lot of damage for that first hit, and Royal Flush now, they can't keep taking hits like that if they want to try to make points back this map, because we saw what happened to Team LAO on Survivor side. By the time they got to Hib's tank, they were essentially dead.
Yeah, Royal Flush had a few lucky breaks there. Those great free caps in the horde areas, and that switch spawning, you know, on the railing that forced them to go for that draw crown. Even though Tool did get it, they did manage to get the incap that put them black and white to deal with the tank. We do have a double boom going out, charge into another Spit onto Ellis this time, and that jockey is dragging Coach back for a lot of damage. The opposite of what Royal Flush needed. They got some lucky breaks, they got some, you know, pretty good hits, you know, unexpectedly, but right now they're on the receiving end, and LAO, they're playing, you know, far superior. They don't need any, like, weird witch spawns to do this. And they do have the death charge area to work with if they can possibly get a charger. But Royal Flush sped right through there, making the wise call. They pushed through there before they have to deal with any of that.
Well, it's still really, really possible to get it, though, because that charger's looking from behind. And I don't even think they've started... Did they start the event? I don't see anything dropping or anything lighting up yet. I don't think they actually started it quite yet. I think Hib is waiting in the front for a second for that to happen. They have the smoker and the charger right here, and I don't know if they stay out here or they decide to go back, but this call can do a lot in terms of what's going to happen to them. Spitter's down below, and it looks as though they're going to be taking it outside in this area, so it's going to be a jockey, charger, smoker, and a spitter for the next hit from LAO. Death charge is definitely possible, as is a vicious free cap, as we saw a couple times happen to Team LAO when they were on Survivor. And here it comes! That's going to be a charge, actually completely within the death charge spot with the smoker pull on that as well. That would have been a lot better if the charger had been able to capitalize on that step.
Yeah, Royal Flush, obviously, I think they definitely wanted to take that horde event downstairs, but there was probably that fear that, you know, they might have a charger. If we go for it, they might get death charge. So I think they made the right call staying out here just for this horde. They are going to push through the bridge now. They didn't take any terrible 3-cap the way LAO did, and hopefully they'll be able to avoid the second 3-cap that LAO took right here. They're going to activate the second horde. We've got Rochelle and Nick in the back hang out near the bridge, and Ellis and Coach near the button that activates the Horde. So far, they're doing pretty well clearing all these commons out.
The ladders, yeah, the ladders don't work for some of the special infected here. It just doesn't. It doesn't exist. It hasn't been fixed, and it's an absolute joke because, you know, it's a prank, I think is the actual right term for it. Boomer's going to try a very long arc boom, not going to land. Survivor's doing a pretty good job kiting this Horde right now, though, and they're in pretty good shape because of the fact that after they took those first couple hits, they've rebounded with the outside hits now. And as long as they don't jump into the water and kill themselves, they should be okay after they push through the rest of this Horde, maybe.
For sure, although we do have to remember that the Witch has now spawned for LAO. They may be able to get something more than just an in-cap. She has spawned on the rail identical to what Royal Flush got, which means that that's going to be a draw crown, which means, you know, much bigger opportunity to get some sort of in-cap for LAO. That Hunter's jumping around down to 42 HP, but looks like he's going to hold on to it. They also have a Smoker, Jockey, and a Charger. That's a quad cap with a draw crown Witch. This is exactly what they want.
Yep, and that's a nice skeet going up by Footy right there on the tool. Here comes the Witch climbing over the railing. Jockey is going to land, and Ellis is going to get that crown. What a play by Kodiak right there. Finding a way to crown that Witch after getting cleared, and now this is actually dangerous for Team LAO. This tank in the hands of Rich is going to have to do work if Team Royal Flush can just kill this alarm car horde beforehand, because this is not an easy tank to wipe with in this area either, and they have the health to do it right now. Very nice turnaround so far from Team, and why are they going forward? Wait a minute. They triggered the alarm car horde, and then they're also going to spawn the tank? Okay. I think I see what they're trying to do. I actually have no idea what they're trying to do. I think I see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna try to? And that was funny, just dropping off the building, taking damage. What in the? What the fuck? Hib, what did you just do? Hib just jumped off the building and in-capped himself, trying to land on I don't know what. They started the alarm. They had perfect health. What the fuck did I just watch? They literally had the health. They could have just killed that alarm car horde, but they ran forward. And now Hib is just down. Hib is just in-capped in the middle of that alley, and now it looks as though Rich is going to go in, and he's going to start trying to hit him as he climbs back up over here. I have absolutely no idea what Royal Flush just did. I really couldn't tell you. That's a smoker pool going out, and that's just a wipe. I mean, they literally just killed themselves.
I don't know what I just witnessed. What a disaster for Royal Flush. I can't even begin to fathom what the logic was there, if you can call it that. I mean, they started that alarm card, they had 3 survivors in the green, 1 bleeding, but they had all 4 pills ready. I mean, they were in such a good position to take that tank. And okay, let me try and recap what happened. They started the alarm car and then inexplicably decided to push and spawn that tank, and then even more inexplicably, 2 survivors decided to just jump off of the fire escape they were standing on, you know, take a ton of damage onto Rochelle, and Hib just in-capping himself, seemingly for no reason. I guess the idea was that if we spawn the tank, you know, with the Horde, it'll spawn less Horde. I think that was the idea, but that still doesn't explain whatever the hell happened on that fire escape. Regardless, LAO is going to push out now, bait out this first hit. There is a Hunter spawning, already making some noise, but another Hunter ready to spawn. Jockey goes in, gets immediately killed, impressive, and a Spitter also waiting to spawn. I mean, LAO, they've been the superior survivor team, and I think they're continuing this trend. The Hunter does land briefly onto Nick. The second one does not, thanks to God Frames. The Spitter goes in and gets killed.
I just love your reactions to the things that you've seen in a couple of these games, Hollywood, because if you like, and it's obviously not your fault, you're new to the casting scheme and that kind of stuff, but if you've seen, I'm not going to say who particular players play at different points in time, that might have been a little less surprising, but the fact that your brain is still just, like, hanging on it is awesome, because at this point, I just look at that and I'm just like, sure, why the hell not? Why not have that be the way that Hib's team wipes? Like, seriously, like, we have a smoker pole going out in the back, Charger landing in the front, almost taking an intercept up there, but Tool got the clear. And yeah, I mean, as you said, LAOs has played Shutdown Survivor most of the game, and now this is a very shotgun-oriented map. I mean, last map was the momentum changer, or the potential momentum changer, and Royal Flush just folded.
Yeah, looks like Royal Flush sort of threw that game. Obviously, this is, you know, This is very shotgun-oriented, a lot of enclosed spaces. It's pretty receptive to really fast survivor play, which LAO excels at. I mean, they do such a good job when they're speeding through, not getting the infected time for decent spawns. Like what we just saw right there, almost no damage going on that most recent hit. I mean, if Royal Flush was hoping to make a comeback, this is not the map to do it, like you mentioned. I mean, LAO so far they've definitely been superior on the survivor side, especially when it comes to, you know, running events like this finale is.
Yeah, I mean, the MavWar map pool is interesting because you've got Carried Off here, and then Haunted Forest is the other custom map, and if you thought this map is insane, Haunted Forest is somehow worse, and like, it's a fun map to play, and I think it can be kind of balanced, but these Gauntlet finales, not usually the place to make a comeback on. We do have a boom going out on the Tool right there, and also on to Rich. And now we have a Jockey going in, trying to reset Rochelle, not going to work. Hunter going to try to go for scratches around that corner. Not able to land much of anything, though. Bouncing its way around, trying to get through that doorway. Finally does, and that was Lawnmower getting a beautiful skeet right there onto that Hunter.
Yeah, regardless, while this point difference is massive and it seems like Royal Flush may have just wasted a golden opportunity to turn things around, we do have to remember that, I mean, these are a lot of narrow hallways. There's lots of chokes here that LAO are going to have to go through, and this is an unfamiliar map, regardless to how much they've been practicing it. And right there is exactly what I was talking about. Double charge going out. It's pulled out of Spit, unfortunately, but that is a decent amount of damage. Boom is going to get shut down immediately. I mean, there's still an opportunity. Maybe LAO are going to fall down some hole or just make some tremendous misplay that will put Royal Flush back into the game. But right now, it seems like it's more a question of, are LAO going to screw this up even harder rather than can Royal Flush outplay them?
Yeah, and like I said, the tank spawn is going to be pretty much around this corner, depending on when they push up. They actually have to go a little bit further. Now it's going to be right here. And this tank is going to be up into the hands of Kodiak. We have a Spit going in the back right here, and we need a Worm in our lives. Let's take it over to Team Royal Flush's Worm for probably their last Worm of the game.
Absolutely. Give me some time to recover after the last map, please.
You see a hole?
No, yeah. I saw one hole so far.
Right here, right here, right here, right here. Where the charger's at? Where the charger's at? Right here. This way. Oh, where the fuck are you?
On the other side.
This way, charger. This way, behind you. Kodiak.
Following
This way.
me.
This. It's gonna
Should I
go.
try to get the boom for you?
You should try to drop, like. Let me see if I can
Alright,
drop.
take me.
Right here, you can drop like these two right here, like this. You'd have to do it twice.
Coming in.
Shoot me again and I'll drop you.
I missed. Fuck. I missed my charger, man. I'm sorry. Behind you. Melees.
Hey y'all, I need some help.
Thanks, Ron.
Guys, keep attacking.
I need you.
Grabbing pills.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a Kodiak tank doing a good amount of work right there, but not getting the wipe that Royal Flush was looking for, unfortunately. He came in from the window area where he jumped in, and then he was able to go in and try to get a corner onto someone, but I think he should have probably cornered Tool right away instead of just moving past him, because then when the SI went in, he didn't even have us pulled down. And playing for a wipe in an area like that, he got a great amount of damage and it was a good tank, but obviously now Team LA are going to keep trying to push their way, make distance points, and make Team Royal Flush's survive around a non-issue.
Yep, the tank was able to get a ton of damage. We've got 3 survivors bleeding, 1 left with green health. Hunter gets shut down, Spitter gets shut down, Boomer gets a single boom and killed. LAO are going to continue on. That was not the wipe that Royal Flush was looking for, and it seems like things are quickly slipping away for them right here.
Indeed they are. I mean, this horde is absolutely vicious here, though. I will say that. Like, you can see how many comments are just being funneled straight at the survivor spaces. They have a drop they have to take here with a hole, and this is all post-tank at this point. So, as you can see, if the team's unable to hold their bonus through some of the earlier maps, this map is not the most forgiving either. It's going to be a Charger, Jockey, Spitter, and a Smoker. Charger is going in, getting absolutely melted right there. Smoker is going to die as well. Jockey going in on Tool down below. The other survivors up top are going to be pretty much safe, aside from the fact there was Spit down below. that is going to put Tool on its first in-cap, so he's not going to be black and white off of that either. And again, they are not that far from the chopper at this point.
Thanks, how old you are?
Yep, they've just got, I think, one more stairwell to go before they get to the entire roof area. Got a boomer going out, gets popped immediately. Charger and Smoker in the back. I think they're not really sure where they want to spawn. Smoker's going to get that pull from the back onto the Coach, but Tom gets cut. Hunter lands onto Rochelle. That Charger decides not to go for Death Charge, hits Coach. Smoker gets a repull and gets cleared. I mean, I think this is just about all she wrote in terms of the LAO Survivor side. I think they're going to make this chopper after taking maybe one or two more hits, although it is worth mentioning that this horde is absolutely massive, delaying them a lot more than the specials, I would say.
Yeah, but this is going to be the chopper right here. Some might recognize it from being most of the No Mercy finale, just a little bit reconfigured. Spitter, Boomer, Jockey, and a Hunter. Hib is stuck. I'm not sure what, how, or where Hib is stuck, but I think he got unstuck. Nope, Hib spawned. Where did Hib spawn? Where did they spawn? Where are they? Why are they there? What the hell?
Hib seems to be in the corner of the bottom of the floor, right under them. The Spitter spit on him and is scratching him. Yeah, screw you, Hib.
No, Hib is the Spitter. Hib is the Spitter. That's the funnier part. He's just trapped behind a wall, dude. Like, he can't get out. Hib's just caught there.
This game is...
How did Noose die?
This game is a meme.
Oh my god. 2 SI stuck and couldn't hit. Good game, good tourney, ha ha ha. That was definitely the reason why Team Royal Flush is behind by almost 1,600 points. It's because of that Spitter being stuck. I think that's an acute observation from this. Now would be a good time to mention that I think there's a 300-point penalty going out onto Team LAO for the player switch for Tool. It's not gonna matter. It's just not gonna matter at this point.
No, that is not enough to save Royal Flush. And it is worth mentioning that, of course, Rails and I made that crucial error of missing the glitches rather than that disastrous tank fight last time. Regardless, we do have Royal Flush now about to take this first hit. The Jockey is pre-spawned on the floor above, making some noise. Looks like Coach is in the back here. Never mind, he started to move here. Double hunters going out onto Rochelle. The first one gets killed, the second one gets killed. Spitter's going to spit, but unfortunately that spread's not going to get anywhere near Rochelle, who was jockeyed for just a moment.
Okay. So they need a very, 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 very big play at this point to win this game, right? And I think what the play is going to be is, and I swear to God I've seen it happen in at least one scrim, one of the survivors needs to body block the tank when he tries to jump in through the side. Like, one of the survivors needs to run at the tank, and kind of like you do on MavWar Hard Rain when the tank's trying to jump the dumpster, a survivor needs to run into the tank's face and force him to fall off the building. It's a momentum cancel and the tank can't get in. They need to do that at this point. Hunter going in, getting nicely seated by Kodiak. Charger in the front as well. Hunter in the back getting seated by him. Charger going in, going to miss. Everything shut down. And if they actually manage to pull something like that off, it would be very, very interesting with the amount of bonus they could potentially have if they keep killing these hits the way they are.
If Royal Flush keeps this up the way they're going, and if they're able to push that tank off the building like you just mentioned, I mean, that would be a Cinderella story for this tournament. That would put them back into not only the match, but also the tournament, because as we mentioned, it's all hanging on this. If they lose this, they're done. But if they manage to do that, that would be incredible. I should mention, though, that we're not sure if they know that, you know. Rails, you know that, but I'm not sure if the team knows that. We've already seen a bit of miscommunication on these maps here before. Regardless, a Jockey does not know the Rochelle very briefly. A Boomer gets a proxy onto two of their survivors. They've still got a Spitter and a Smoker rig to spawn around this whole area.
We've asked for a pause, but we haven't quite gotten it because the teams are at the stage where they're just going to keep pushing. And I wish we still had the ability for casters to do that. Here, let me see if I can do the... There we go. Okay, footy pause the game. There we go. That's nice.